Hey there, my friends. It's Jen Pitta with By the Shore Stamping. Welcome into another edition of Teach Me Tuesday. Today, I wanted to share with you a project that I cased the catalog, actually. So the new holiday, I'm sorry, not the holiday, the mini catalog, which is not so mini. This is the cover of it. It's a beautiful 50-something pages worth of new stuff, but this is the stamp set I wanted to use. I've had it since the catalog went live on January 3rd, and I haven't played with it yet, and I absolutely loved this card here. So I'm going to show you my version of it. This one looks like it's a tall and skinny card, but I wanted to do mine regular size card, so I went ahead and kind of adjusted based on what I thought would be the sizing of that one. So I went ahead and did that for you. So let's go ahead and I will show you my version. All right, so I still used the Seaside Spray cardstock, which I believe is what they used on the sample because I love Seaside Spray. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half. This is going to make my card base. It's 8.5 by 5.5 is the cardstock measurements. Let me just grab my bone folder and we'll get a nice crisp crease on that. There you go. And then I'm going to take some watercolor paper, and I'm using the Seaside Spray ink and the Smoky Slate ink. So I'm going to squeeze the cover of this ink pad. So I'm squeezing the balls of my hands here together so that I'm pushing the cover of the ink into the ink pad. And I'm going to do that on this one too. The newer ones, it's a little harder to do. The ink pads are a little sturdier, so it's hard to get them to squeeze over there. But I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab my aqua painter, and I'm going to drop some water in here and in here. There we go. And I should have done the blue first. Whoops. So let me just color that out because I want to start with blue. And I'm going to mix this in. And I'm going to do an all-over wash. And this is something I've done before. I actually like it. It's really easy to do. You just kind of wash the whole piece of cardstock. The key is you want your aqua painter to be wet, because if it's dry, it's not going to glide over the paper nicely. It will give you a little bit of a darker color, but it will kind of get stuck on the paper. So I'm just going to see, you can kind of see it's running out of water. So I'm just going to squeeze a little bit of water into the tip again and continue down the page. And it's getting lighter and lighter, but that's fine because we're going to transition to another color anyway. I probably could add a little more ink to this. You could drop the Seaside Spray right onto the ink cover too with your ink refill, which is probably a little bit easier and uses up less of your ink. But I actually don't have the Seaside refill, which is problematic. I'm going to have to get that. All right, I'm going to close this because I'm done with that for the moment. And then I'm going to grab the Smoky Slate, and I'm going to do the same thing, but just on the bottom of this. So we're just going to add a little bit of gray to the bottom of my watercolor paper. You do want to use watercolor paper for this because the water is pretty heavy on this when you use an aqua painter, so it will pill regular paper. And I'm just going to blend that. And so once that's done, I'm going to go ahead, you scribble out the aqua painter, and then you're going to let this dry for a little bit. I actually already did that on one before I started, just to kind of speed this process up a little bit. Then I'm going to take the Smoky Slate ink again, and I'm going to grab my little raindrops. What I really wanted to do on here was use Versamark ink and clear embossing powder, because that's going to give you like that epoxy look of almost raindrops. But my clear embossing powder is MIA, so I'm going to need to order more of that. I don't use it very often, but it's a project like this that it would be perfect for, because it's going to make it look like raindrops on here, because it's going to give you that sort of raised look. And I'm just going to go ahead and stamp some little raindrops here on the dried watercolor paper. And I'm going to go all the way to the bottom, doing kind of a light touch, or want to do kind of a light touch. And we'll add some just down the bottom here. Okay, so that's that. Next up, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to grab a piece of Whisper White, and I'm going to use Memento Black. And here I'm going to stamp the little umbrella, and it's in the punch this way. So this is part of a suite. I didn't even show you the product line here in actual real life. So this is the stamp set under the umbrella, and it's available as a bundle with the builder punch. So you can see that punch goes sideways when you stick it in. So I'm going to stamp my little umbrella sideways so it will slip in there nicely. But I'm going to color it first. But while I have the black out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my little flowers as well. So I'm just going to stamp those. I just put them all on one block because it was just easier. I knew I wanted all three versions, and it didn't matter what order they were in because I'm going to cut them out. Yes, I'm going to fussy cut. And then I'm going to take the light Flirty Flamingo, and I'm going to color my little umbrella here. I find it easier to control this little nub tip rather than the paintbrush tip, but you can use whichever one you find easier. In a big open space like this, it is probably faster and can be fairly easy to control the paintbrush end. Those little flowers, this side would be definitely preferred for me. But again, everybody finds their own way. So that's what's beautiful about this. But I probably could have used the little paintbrush side. So you have two sides to each marker. Then I'm not going to do it right now, but I used my, the Flirty Flamingo, the light Petal Pink, dark soft Seafoam, light Daffodil Delight, and the light Calypso Coral to color in my flowers. And through the magic of TV, they look like this. So I colored them all in, and then I hand cut them. I fussy cut them with my scissors. So I'm just going to set those aside. We don't quite need those yet. Then I took this, and I punched out my little umbrella. I love the product coordination for Stampin' Up! It just makes crafting so easy. And the catalog today was such an inspiration. It would not have been a card that I would have been able to design probably on my own, but I love it. Next up, I took the... Where'd it go? Oh, there it is. The little umbrella cane here. And I stamped that. I'm going to stamp it towards the bottom. And again, I'm going to look at my punch. And actually, I'm going to stamp it on this side. It will be easier. Stamp that. And then I can just go ahead, slip this in here. And punch that out. Careful, you can poke an eye out. So now I have all my little elements for the card. The last thing I'm going to do is stamp my sentiment. I loved the Hello Sunshine font, and I loved the saying. I used to say that all the time, so it just is really cute. And I'm going to stamp that on my little 1.5 by 1.5 inch piece of soft Seafoam cardstock. I'm going to do a little banner end on the bottom here, so I'm going to slit in the middle, and then I'll turn it and go corner to that center of the slit, and then corner to center, like that. Okay, so now we're ready to kind of assemble our card. So first up, what I did was I attached the little umbrella stem flat. This is kind of a stepped up card, so this would be one for one of my good friends, somebody who deserved a little love here. I'm going to grab some dimensionals, and I'm going to pop up the umbrella here. I want to leave quite a bit of space between the umbrella top and here, so I'm going to put it like right on the edge because we're going to fill it with flowers, so we want the umbrella to still show at the top. Then I'm going to take the larger one here, add some dimension to that. I think I'll use mini dimensionals because those will work better for this. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this down here like that. And again, I'm pretty much just copying the layout of the card I just made from the catalog. I just made it a little bit bigger. I'm going to add these here while I'm at it. Okay. And then these will get layered inside. This one I'm going to tuck right here. And then this one I'm going to put over here. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to actually attach the greeting to the top. And I don't want it to go all the way to the top. I'm just going to do the edge here. And then I used a sponge and the smoky slate ink again. And I'm just going to ink the edges of this. Make it look a little gray. Like a gray, but a little sunshiny. I think it's bright enough. I liked the bright pink and the lighter pastel colors because it brings a little bit of brightness to the card. So even though it's supposed to be replicating a gray day, it still looks cheerful. All right, so then I'm gonna go ahead and before I attach it to the card, I'm gonna use some Whisper White Baker's Twine. This is such a good little add-on if you're shopping and you need a little item to get you over like the $50 mark or something like that, because it's just such a great staple. It works for so many projects and I use it all the time. And if it's, you get a ton of it on a roll, so it's great for doing you know, multiple times around a card. I'm going to tie a bow too, so I'm going to tie a knot first like that, and then go ahead and tie a bow. There we go. And then I'm just going to trim that down a little bit. Cut way too much on that side. Now I can go ahead and attach it to the card, and I'm going to use dimensionals to do that. I want it to pop up a little bit. And one in the middle. There we go. Make sure it doesn't sag. My chair is noisy, sorry. I don't know if you can hear that. It's squeaking away. Alright. Then I'm going to take it and put it on my card base, but I want to actually set it a little off center. So I'm going to put it down in that corner, like that. I think I need to cut this down a little bit more. There, that's better. Now I'm going to take my epoxy drops. These are really cute too, and I think they kind of replicate raindrops a little bit. So I'm going to put a couple of those there and one down here. And then finally, the last step I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some Wink of Stella and I'm going to color in the umbrella with some Wink. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. I don't know if you can see it in the video right now, but I'll bring it up close. It's just so glittery and sparkling. This is another good one to add to an order if you need a little extra. They're only like $8, I think. So, but they add so much. See that sparkle? Isn't that pretty? So it just adds a little bit to the card. So there you have it. A finished little rainbow. I was going to say rainbow, but it's not. It's like a little cup of cheer here for somebody who needs a little sunshine in their life. So I hope you liked today's card. Again, use that catalog for inspiration. It often inspires me when I'm stuck, particularly like today I was really struggling to come up with an idea, and just thumbing my pages, thumbing through that catalog and just seeing the product and then seeing the different ideas in the catalog just kind of spurred me into action. So again, you can see I did change it up a little bit, but there's the original one. And it looks pretty similar to what I ended up coming up with too. But I love being able to just use this as an inspiration. Sometimes it looks very similar, and then sometimes it ends up looking completely different. And that's why I love hanging on to my catalogs. I actually have all of my Stampin' Up! Catalogs from 2005. So I do still go back to some of them and try and reinvigorate my creativity. So hopefully that helps you. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. It makes me so happy. And I look forward to seeing you again next week for another edition of Teach Me Tuesday. Have a great week. Bye.